What is going on, fishy friends? Alright, just got home from work, and I think I caught these two just getting ready to do their thing. Let's see if it's about to happen or not. I think I spooked them a couple of minutes ago. I think that one swimming away from me right now, that I presume to be the female, I think she was making a couple of dry runs over the cone, and I spooked her when I walked in the room. And now she's kind of starting over, and now she's running away from me. Well, maybe not. Hopefully I'll chime back in later with some more of that. In the meantime, my little nano tank that I haven't done anything with yet is in dire need of a top off. I don't know if you can hear that pump gurgling. It's sucking in air, which is no good because it's going to burn itself out. And I got to make sure I fill this tank back up. They're thinking about it. The cone is still not clean enough, but you can see her shimmying and shaking her dorsal fin and her whole body there. That's sort of an indication. You know, it's almost like a mating call. I'm not sure if... It almost seems to me like they're trying to make noise, if that makes any sense. Like they're vibrating their body, hoping that the water around them sort of, you know, vibrates and makes some noise, so to say. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not, but I've always wondered if that's part of the reason for that, I don't know, seizure-like look. Seizure's not the right word, but it's the best that can come to mind right now. So the Discus peck and clean the vertical surface that they plan on laying their eggs on. And then as you see, she's sort of taking practice runs. She's not laying any eggs yet, but she is mimicking the movement that she would do. And I think you can sort of see her breeding tube right there. And I think when they do that dry run, I think they're kind of dragging their breeding tube across the surface that they plan to lay eggs on, and instinctively know if it's clean enough. I don't know if it's for the eggs to stick or just clean enough for them to lay the eggs. Well, she's not quite ready yet. I still haven't caught these two in the act, and I'm still not 100% sure I have a male and a female. But there's that breeding tube on the female again, what I presume to be the female. And ironically enough, the males have a smaller, I guess blunter might be the right word, on their breeding tube, of their breeding tube. His fins are in the way now. But the two breeding tubes on these two fish definitely do look different, which does lead me to believe I do truly have a male and a female here. I can't remember the technical term for that breeding tube right now. It's completely escaping me. So feel free to chime in the comments below if anybody knows what that might be. No, I guess I'm jumping the gun and they're not quite ready. Maybe I gotta close the curtains and light some candles for them or something like that, kind of get them in the mood. Hopefully I'll have time to check back down here later and actually see them doing their thing, because it's quite an act to behold if you've never seen it, as the female goes and lays her eggs, and as the male follows behind and fertilizes those eggs, in theory. I know as soon as I turn off the camera and walk away it's going to happen. There's some more shimmying and shaking from what I presume to be the male, which again is sort of like a mating ritual, a mating dance, you know, sort of showing off to one another. Hey, look at me, I'm ready. It's like getting on the dance floor at the club and strutting your stuff. And every time these two have done anything for me as far as breeding goes, they always lay on the back side of that breeding cone. It makes it impossible for me to see. And I'm a day behind in water changes, and I was really hoping to do a water change on this tank tonight. You can see some of the muck and mulm and waste that is accumulated on the bottom of the tank. And I'm always very reluctant to jump in and do a water change while they seem like they're getting ready to breed. The last thing I want to do is piss them off and put my hand in the tank and start draining water and refilling water. How would you like it if somebody walked in your bedroom and did that while you were busy doing your thing? Not very cool. Alright, well, I'm going to walk away, do a few other things, and hopefully catch these guys later. Alright, guys, so we're back a little bit later, and there are some eggs on the cone. Like I complained about before, everything's happening on the back side of the cone, so I can't really see what the hell is going on. but I think you might be able to see some of those eggs back there. By the time I zoom in like that, they get a little fuzzy. But they're there. They're doing their thing. And I still don't have the plastic mesh that I need to wrap around the cone to make sure that these that the parents don't gobble up the eggs. And it still seems like the male is just sitting over here hanging out by himself. I didn't get to see her physically laying the eggs, but the male should be there right behind her. There she goes, making a pass. In theory, if we could see the backside of that cone, we would see that she's depositing eggs. And he should be right behind her fertilizing those eggs, and he's just not doing his job. Anyway, well, maybe I can zoom in and see something there. Yeah, these fish don't want to cooperate for me. Come on! Oh well, guys. That's about as good a footage I'm going to get of this tonight. Anyway, comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll have some good news to report in the next couple of days about these eggs. Alright guys, so this is kind of interesting. A few minutes later yet again, she's taken a few more passes and laid a few more eggs. He is starting to look like he's a little more interested. But I think she is just a little too protective. She keeps going and chasing him away from the eggs before he even gets a chance to make his pass and fertilize them. I don't know, this is the closest he's... Oh, unless he's starting to gobble them up already, and that's why she's getting pissed at him and chasing him away. It's the third time in a row that he's come close, approached the eggs. Once or twice it looked like he was going to make his pass and fertilize them, and then she goes and starts lip locking and pushes him back up into that corner. Now he is ready. His breeding tube is out. Well, and he's pooping. Can't really see it too well when I zoomed in there now. She's still clearly interested in laying more eggs. But I wonder if the fault is not with him, but with her. If she's just too protective and a little too aggressive and chasing him away. Interesting. Man, I wish I could get in there close enough to actually see her depositing the eggs on the cone. Oh, she's just out of view. Well, yet again, I don't have very high hopes for this spawn, but at least this pair is still continuing to try. There's a chance they'll get this figured out sooner or later. Well, only time will tell. We'll see you guys later.